Hey guys, Joe here, and welcome back to another vlog post following my LTA qualification journey. Now, this is vlog number 14, and today I'm going to be giving you a little bit of information about what I've been doing for my paddle tennis qualification course. Now, in my last post, I gave a bit of an update and I kind of revealed that I was doing this paddle course, and I kind of kept it a little bit quiet. And it has been, again, incredibly busy for me recently. We've had a lot of stuff going on at home. I've had a lot of stuff going on at my full-time job, and as I mentioned in my last video as well, I've actually also handed my notice in for that. So I'm now doing a lot of wrapping up around my full-time job. And then over the weekend, I then had my first two face-to-face days for my paddle course. So I just wanted to break down a little bit what is kind of entailed within that, kind of what is being covered, what is kind of very similar, and what things are different between the tennis level 3 course and the paddle level 2 course. So the starting point that I want to sort of do for this is actually just kind of noting that currently at the moment in the UK, the LTA has only released a level 2 paddle coaching qualification. Now there is kind of technically a level 1, but that is more of like an online CPD styled learning. It's like an introduction to paddle. Now you don't have to have done the level 1 online learning in order to be able to do the level 2 course. And it actually states on the LTA website that the level 2 is currently sort of the entry level to paddle coaching. So that's sort of the first thing. And then also as well in the pipeline at the moment, there is a level 3 which is being developed. I believe they've rolled it out to some sort of trial recently. So that is kind of being trialed at the moment, which is a level 3 paddle course. Hopefully that's then going to come about next year. I'm not necessarily desperate to jump on that straight away. Obviously, I've just done, I'm sort of in the middle of my second course at the moment. There's a lot of stuff going on, so I kind of want to get into my coaching, see when that comes about, maybe give them a little bit of time to work out some of the sort of kinks and the issues with that, and then maybe look to do that maybe towards the end of next year or maybe the year after, depending on how I'm doing and how my coaching goes and everything else. But that's kind of something for future Joe to think about. So, well, what's actually entailed then on the course? So, the course itself is much shorter than the tennis level 3 as a starting point as well. So, the paddle level 2 runs over about a month. So, I started last weekend. I'm hoping to be finished on the last weekend in June. And across that time, I have to do 4 face-to-face days. Now, I've done 2 of them over the weekend just gone. I then have a 2-week period where I have to get coursework and things done. I then have another face-to-face day. I then have another 2 weeks, and then I have a final face-to-face day. And then I have 30 days after that final day to get all of the rest of my coursework submitted, get all the last bits and pieces polished off. And then once I've done all of that, I can then, much like the level 3, once I've completed the course itself and I've passed the course, I can then do my summative assessment afterwards. So hopefully by the end of June, kind of mid-June, then I'll hopefully will have polished off the coursework that I need to do, and then I can be looking to do my summative following on from that. So the face-to-face days themselves were very intense days. I've absolutely shattered this week because of the 2 days over the weekend. We're now on Thursday this week, and I'm still feeling it a little bit. But I think it's just because I said I've had a lot of other stuff going on. I've not really been able to recover very well from that. But there was a lot of time on your feet. There's a lot of playing. There's a lot of technical to go through. There's a lot of sort of actually the doing side of things. So actually, it's kind of doing, feeding and demonstrating and teaching each other and running sort of small parts of sessions. Now the structure of that is very similar to the level 3 in that the way in which the sessions are broken down very much goes from the observe and analyze stage through to a demonstration point, through to like a closed practice, a progression, and then an open game at the end. So the progression, everything else is all very familiar, which is really nice. I understand the frameworks already. Similarly, the tactical framework is also very similar. However, the focus is slightly different on the tactical framework. So whereas in the level 3 framework for tennis, the tactical framework very much focuses on both back serving, returning, both back, you at the net, opponent at the net, and it kind of goes in that order of importance. The framework for the paddle course very much focuses on you at the net, opponent at the net, serving, returning, both at the net, and then both back. So the least common sort of game scenario in paddle is both players at the back, and serving and returning doesn't necessarily have as higher impact on the game, whereas the play around the net is the thing that's most crucial. That also then, from a technical point of view as well, there's obviously some slight differences. It's a much simpler thing technically, but again, the kind of technical framework is the same. So it's understanding that we have a kind of a receiving phase, so our prepare phase, our contact phase, so understanding how we're actually making contact with the ball, and then we have our recovery phase, so then what we do after we've hit the ball as well. So that framework is very similar, although maybe looks a little bit more basic than the tennis level 3 one. However, again, not really much catching out there. And then again, sort of through the tactical framework, kind of the phases of play are similar. So attack, rally, defend, all very very similar. The ways in which we can control the point. So by controlling time, controlling space, playing to opponent's weakness, playing to your strengths, and I forget what the last one is. I know there's a fifth one in there somewhere. I'll probably think of it in a second. But that's all the same. And then the ball characteristics, again, all the same. So height, depth, speed, direction, and spin, again, all similar. So the frameworks themselves, very, very similar. But as I said, tactically in Padel, there's a lot more focus on the net play. There is a lot more focus on the utilization of things like the lob, playing slower balls, the use of the glass. So we did a lot of that over the weekend. It was a lot of understanding how we win at the net. What are the basic tactics of Padel? How do we use the glass effectively? How do we also read the ball coming off the glass? So we did a lot of things around understanding, how the ball bounces off two glass, or double glass as it's known. And we did a lot of feeding around that as well. So how you can adapt feeding to give consistency of feed. So we can do, kind of throwing the ball like a throw feed into the glass to understand the kind of the movement and the reading of that. We can then do like a close racket feed. We can do a racket feed from the other side of the net, do a racket feed from the far side of the court, and we can also try and do rally feeding as well. So again, the way in which the feeding progresses up is very much the same as well. So what's really, really nice is it actually feels like I'm not having to learn too much, anything that's too different. It's mainly now just understanding how to play the game of Padel better, understanding the tactics a little bit more, and also kind of looking at my own technique and things like that. So we did a lot of work technically around, again, how to read the ball off the glass and how you kind of maybe play a slightly lower shot off that, or how we would play a lob and the effectiveness of hitting a very deep lob which lands close to the back glass, which then bounces very close to the back glass and gives your opponent difficulty that way. We looked at kind of the range of other shots as well. So we looked at things like the serve. We looked at forehands, backhands, smashes. The cool thing about Padel is that it has like a name for absolutely everything. So like a small kind of drop, essentially like a drop shot, so like a soft feathered kind of ball that you just kind of play. But the aim basically is to just drop it over the net and play it down to your opponent's feet, known as a chiquita. The sort of you have a flat smash, which is basically just where you absolutely leather the ball and you hit it very flat. But if you get pushed back a little bit more and you're kind of stepping backwards, you might decide to play a bandeja, which is like almost like a slice smash, and it's kind of you play more kind of around the ball, and again it kind of skids. The idea is that you try and get it into the corner and it gives your opponent difficulty that way. And there's I think he said they say 7+1 different smashes, and the +1 is because there's a smash which you play off the back glass, so you let it bounce, you come up, and as it comes back down again, you play again like almost like a slice smash off the back glass. There's interesting tactics about like trying to hit it into the fence and stuff as well. We didn't do too much of that. A lot of it is about playing very centrally down the middle. You play very safe in Padel. The whole idea of Padel really is to play consistently, play the safe shot, so don't change direction too much, and essentially just make your opponent play one more until you've got that opportunity to really put the ball away. So excellent weekend, excellent weekend. I said a lot of playing. We ran through that kind of that teaching framework a lot as well. So we did a lot of like observation analysis, and we all took it in turns, observing different things, setting up different ways in which you can observe. So understanding, if you've got 3 players, 4 players, 5 players, etc., like how you would kind of set that up so that you as the coach can see what people are doing in a game situation. How you then kind of coach that to people. So understanding that you need to coach the whole group and give people a tactical and a technical teaching point. And then obviously then the idea that you would then go around and give people little bits of individual advice as well. How we then do closed practice, how we keep that safe, how we progress that out into a slightly more open practice, and then how we progress that out into the game. So yes, lots and lots of information. as I said, it was a lot on my feet. There's a lot of stuff that was been done, but really, really great fun all in all. I now have, almost only a week left now. I haven't really been able to start any of my coursework just because I've been so busy otherwise. But my plan is I've basically got a day tomorrow and I've got a day over the weekend to get through all the coursework that I need to do before the next face-to-face day. So that will be kind of recapping the work that's already been done. There's some stuff around like inclusion and disability as well. So like looking into like disability paddle. Again, a lot of things that are very similar to tennis. So I'll go through that and kind of recap a lot of that as well. I think there's 2 lots of online learning that I need to do, or 3 lots of online learning, some tests that I need to do, so reflection task. I also have as well to try and complete in the time. I think I have to do this before the final face-to-face days. There's also a feeding task that I need to do. It doesn't look too difficult. Essentially, you have a minute and you have to try and feed. You feed to each of the glass panels, and the idea is you have to try and get the ball to bounce into the glass panel, and you just keep feeding the ball. It's just to show the accuracy of the feeds that you can hit. You have a minute to do it. I think the maximum score you can get is 35. But obviously, if you hit more shots than that than you do, you just keep going until you've gone through your minute. But the idea being, if you can hit, you're aiming to try and hit 35. Obviously, you can miss by a couple, but obviously you don't want to be missing by too many, because if those numbers start dropping off, then there might start being a question around your capability to feed accurately. So I'm going to do that at some point. I also have what is called coaching qualification experience. So I have to coach some sessions as well. I'm actually going to do this by volunteering as a coach. So I'm essentially going to be volunteering as an assistant at my tennis club, because they don't normally have assistant coaches, and there's also not the space for me to just run my own sessions. But what I'm hoping is that the coach who does run that, thankfully I know very well, and I can hopefully do some teaching of the sessions myself. I need to do a certain amount of filming as well for those sessions, so showing that progression. I need to do essentially like a video clip of me doing some game analysis, a clip of me doing a demo, a clip of me doing closed practice, progression, and then a game as well. So there's like a certain amount that I need to film, and then do small chunks of submission around that. I don't have to submit that as one video. All those videos have different lengths they need to be as well. So yeah, lots to try and get done in the next month and a half. The exciting thing is my last day at work has now been confirmed, or my last day of my full-time job, my current full-time job has been confirmed as the 25th of June. So from that date, I will basically then finish work. I then have a really cool weekend planned, because I have my final paddle day. I also have a weekend with my family, and then I have some time off to try and sort out everything to do with my coaching, try and complete these last bits that I need to do for my paddle course, get my summative assessments done, get those submitted, and then start to build myself up into my tennis coaching, which is going to be so fun. So I'm really looking forward to that. The final thing that I meant to say as well is that there is also an elective day that I need to do. I've already booked that, and that is happening the day after my third face-to-face day. So in 2 weeks' time, I do my face-to-face day, and then thankfully at the same venue, the day after, there is an elective that I can do, which is all around coaching paddle to kids and how to make it fun and interactive and everything else. So that'll be a really good day as well. So intense few weeks coming up yet again. I'd be lying if I didn't say that I am starting to feel the burnout a little bit, like I'm starting to come to the end of my energy and everything else with this. However, I'm still glad that I'm doing it. The reality of me doing this and stepping into coaching full time is sinking in. I'm looking forward to having that little bit of time in between as a bit of a breather, though, because I really want to just kind of set myself up as best I can, get my head around what I'm going to be doing, what sessions I'm going to be doing, try and start building up some individual clients. I have some stuff planned with some holiday camps coming up as well, and then I will be fully in this world. So I'm massively looking forward to that. Anyway, bit of a long video from me today. There was a lot to cover. I just wanted to get it all out there because it's been a while again since I've been able to do an update, and there's been a lot to update on. So thank you so much for listening. If you've got this far, as always, please do like, comment, and subscribe if you are interested and if you've got this far. And until next time, take care and see you soon. Goodbye.